Hey guys, welcome back to another clip of Schach-manuel-lernen. Today with the last round of the winter season. I had the white pieces and I started as always with e4. Then a Caro-Kann appeared and I played d4, d5, knight d2. And after capturing knight f6, I played the main line, capture. And here exist already different moves, like I played knight f3, but there's also c3 with the idea of bishop d3, queen c2, knight d2 and castle. I decided for the other plan with knight f3, so bishop d6, bishop d3, castle, rook e8, h3, to prevent the bishop from going to g4, knight d7, c4. C4 is an option, c3 is the other option, as I mentioned earlier. And after knight f8, the bishop d2 would be the best move according to Engine. Maybe later bishop c3. And after bishop e6, rook e1, and it's really a balanced game after that. My variation is slightly worse, but it's also everything okay. So bishop e6, queen c2, queen d7, and here I had to calculate for some time because bishop h3 is in the air to sacrifice a piece. And I can't really stop it, that he can sacrifice it. So I need to make sure that I don't get checkmate after he does that. And that was the reason why I thought about some different moves. I played rook e1 with the defensive idea of queen d1 for protecting the knight, and for bishop f1 with bringing him to g2. And indeed, he sacrificed a piece, capture, and after queen d1, it would be a draw. Like if he would repeat moves like queen g4, king f1, and he could still go there. And if I go there, we just have the perpetual check. However, if I would decide to go here with my king, like after this one I would decide to go here, then black has a wonderful sacrifice, which is on e3. The problem is I can't capture with the pawn, otherwise he would have a beautiful checkmate on g2. It's really wonderful. So I would be forced to capture with the king, and after bishop b4, it looks terrible for me. Of course, you have to find all of these moves as a black player, and if you don't checkmate, you will just lose the game, because at the moment you're an entire rook down. Okay, you have 2 pawns for it, but still, if you don't win on the spot, you will lose the game. But that would be the winning variation for black. But if I wouldn't play king e2, king g1, it would be a draw. However, here black decided for another continuation, which is not correct. Knight e6. Knight g1 is the only move. It defends the h3 square, which is the most important thing in this position. And after queen h4, I thought the d4 pawn is hanging, but apparently it's not, because if he would capture here, I can simply capture, and when the queen captures, we have here this discovery check with sacrificing the bishop and then winning the queen. I played bishop f5, rook to d8, tried to exchange queens, and after g6 my opponent offered a draw, and I was like, no, I want to continue playing. And the move that I continued playing was not the best. I played a3. I should have played bishop f3, and then a possible continuation would be h5, because black needs to march with his pass pawn. Rook d1, bishop, rook e2. I didn't like this scenario somehow because of knight c5, bishop c5, with the pin to d1. So I decided to play a3, but a3 has the huge problem of f5, and yeah, I decided to play d5, so that was not the best moments in the game for me. I should have played bishop h3, and after f4 I should sacrifice this pawn, because the pawn in this position is more valued, no, opposite, sorry. The bishop pair is more valued than the pawn in this situation. And I thought, okay, I can't just give the pawn on d4 away, because my idea, what I thought was, if I play something like bishop f3 or bishop h3, and he plays f4, then I lose this pawn, and this pawn I can't afford. That's why I played d5, and yeah, the best option for him would have been this. I also calculated that. Yeah, just because my knight is passive and his pawn gets even more support. He decided to capture there, and after knight c7, bishop f3, we continue in a very interesting position. So bishop e5, I captured on a7, trading rooks, and then rook a2. Bishop goes back, bishop c5, rook c8, bishop b4. So now it's we still have the piece against two pawns. However, we should be careful that we not trade too many pawns, because otherwise the winning chance is slipping away. So bishop d6, and yeah, bishop d2 and h5 would have been better for me. Again, same reason, I should keep the bishop pairs more or less at any costs on the board. I played knight e2, I wanted to activate my knight. King f8, rook a1, I put the double question mark there because it's really not clear for me at the most, but yeah, this is a draw after rook a1, but it's really not something human-like that you would see. So after capturing, he played knight d6. I want to trade rooks. He doesn't want that. And after rook c7, the idea is play rook here and attacking b7 as well as d6. So rook a6, then I played knight to d4. Knight c3 would have been a bit more accurate to stop rook a4. So I played this one, and now here black made a mistake and he played rook b6. At the first moment it doesn't look like a bad move because he defends the knight, he defends the pawn, and it attacks the pawn. I played then b5. The idea behind b5 was if he captures, I can capture, and then we have something like d6. So we will win this pawn back, and this pawn is really, really fast. So that's why he didn't capture, he just played king e8. Then I played king g2. Bishop e2 would have been better just to protect it, and after king d8 I would return and just showing a couple of moves. I analyzed it with engine, it's really drawish, a bit better for white. I decided to play king g2, a bit idea activating king and something like that, ideally. Here he should have captured, because after all of that he has rook b6. And this doesn't win. I also show you a bit of variation, rook e7. We go back and then we have here a bit perpetual check. And if we capture there, this is a non-winning position. So I retreated with my rook. Sorry, something is a bit lagging. So now it looks better. So rook c1 is the played move in the game, and after rook e7 I played bishop e2 finally. And the 40th move before time control was f4, then h6. He tries to create another pass pawn. King f3, g5, bishop d3. Bishop d3 with the idea of attacking this pawn twice, so he's stucking with king and knight there. And after g4 check, I played king e3, h5, rook h1, attacking the pawn. And now a wonderful move that I'm really proud of myself that I found it. Rook h2. So what's so beautiful about it? Black has this so-called Zugzwang, which means he can't move any single piece. Like his rook is stacking here. If he moves his knight, I can capture the pawn. If he moves his king, like here, I can still capture the pawn. If he moves his king here, I can capture this pawn. So it doesn't matter what he moves. By f6 I can just go back. h4 he can't play, and by g3 he will lose the g3 pawn. So it doesn't matter what he play, he will lose. And yeah, he played king h6. Then I captured with the bishop. So now g4 is hanging. And after capture, king g6, knight h4 check, he resigned. Because it doesn't matter where the king goes. Let's say here, we can go defend the pawn, and then we are just way too active with our king. We have a passed pawn, and these two pawns are going nowhere. So yeah, I was really happy about the victory. In the middle game were of course some potential for playing better, but overall I'm happy with the result. So I wish you a wonderful weekend, guys. I hope you have as well these interesting games by yourself. See you soon and stay healthy.